Hello, and welcome to GNY Sports. Yes, a side quest of our show, Good News York, our podcast, Good News York, hosted by Matt Mazer and I, airs Monday through Thursday. You can find GNY Sports with Good News York on all socials at Good News York or goodnewsyork.com. And you can follow me on all socials at Mike B TV. I am what the French call pissy today. Why? Well, if you haven't caught on yet, I'm a Bills fan. And today I am waking up with the Bills being not only in second place by a game and a half, but they got trounced by the Miami Dolphins. I don't mean they got beat by the Miami. I am talking about every aspect of the game. Outcoached, outplayed, outscored. I mean, Allen had a better box score than Tua, which is no surprise. In fact, if you were to read the box score and you saw the score without the teams next to it, you'd go, oh, the Bills, they blew out the Dolphins as usual. Because as you know, the Bills with Allen and McDermott have only lost to the Dolphins twice in 8 years. Well, make that 3 times. Guys, what can I say that has already not been said about the Buffalo Bills? How many times am I going to sit here in this same seat and talk about how they don't have a downfield threat? And the way that you beat the Buffalo Bills is you take away the middle of the field because you don't have to take away, and the run game because you don't have to take away. The safeties don't have to do shit. If you're a safety playing the Bills, you can sit like this. Because there's no downfield passing game. So what did the Dolphins do? They put 8 in the box and they stopped the running game. Because guess what? I think I've said this before. Oh yeah, 3 seconds ago. There's nobody downfield to catch the ball. It was awful. It was abysmal. Now, I always get on other Bills fans for being very knee-jerk. You know, we are the type of fan base where all of a sudden there's a loss. The next day, it's fire McDermott, fire Beane, trade Josh Allen, sell the Bills to the Ringling Brothers. It's a circus. It's a whole thing. And I've learned over the years to just sit back and chill a little bit. But I'm going to tell you right now, this is not knee-jerk. In fact, it's actually the opposite. Okay, I have lived through the 4 Super Bowl losses. I had season tickets through the doldrums of the drought. From 2007 to 2017, I had season tickets and traveled with 10 to 12 friends from Ithaca to Buffalo. Okay? I was told to trust the process when Beane and McDermott came, and I did. The project, the process, it's over. What we are watching are the Pats, the Patriots, doing exactly what the Bills could and should have done this season. And that is breeze through a fairly easy schedule, take the division, focus on getting the 1 seed in the playoffs, and finally bringing the Lombardi to Buffalo. And guess what the Pats have done? The Pats have taken full advantage of that with a team and an organization that knows how to build around a young QB, ironically, who is built very much like Josh Allen. In his second year, Drake Maye. They're driving by like this. Suckers, you had 5 years, 8, but 5 solid years to not only enjoy winning the division, getting to the playoffs, but to get that Lombardi with a RoboCop superstar, insane quarterback. And they've blown it. They're wasting Allen's years. This is not over 1 loss. Meanwhile, it's year 8. And Allen still doesn't have the weapons that he's needed. Second year, Maye has his, blowing by, probably going to take the division, definitely going to the playoffs. They might win the Super Bowl. What? I'm not going to feel weird about saying that. How many times have I played the clip of me right here months ago before the season started saying, I think the Pats challenge the Bills for the division. Boy, was I right. Because they're a game and a half up. So now the Pats are doing the things that we should have done 5 years ago. And we're in year 8. And to make matters worse, all the Patriots fans have had to do is suffer for 5 years. Tom Brady came in for 20-something years, terrorized our asses. He leaves. The rest of the division, not so hot. Had a clear path every year. And what did this is tragic. This is tragic. Because what did Brandon Beane do? And I love Sean McDermott and Brandon Beane. What they did for this organization when they came in is second to none. It was unbelievable to go from a drought to this. But it's like dating someone insane for 17 years, and then a new guy comes along, and it's a honeymoon. It's fantastic. It's flowers and rainbows and sunshine. Well, that's over with, man. That's all we've ever known is horrible and this, which has been great, but it's not good enough. And why do I say that? Because Brandon Beane, who, again, I love Brandon Beane. I never thought I'd be sitting here saying, I can't, I don't even know if I'm saying it's time for him to go, but something has to change. If the fan base knew since Diggs left a couple seasons ago that they needed wide receiver help, clearly he knows they've needed wide receiver help. And he goes on Bills radio at the beginning of the season, right after the draft this past season, lights up the hosts on WGR for accusing them of just saying how ridiculous it is that they think he should be drafting more wide receivers. It's the craziest thing he's ever heard. Is it really crazy, Brandon Beane? Is it? And to make matters worse, the New England Patriots drafted one of the receivers that I wanted for the Bills, Kyle Williams. And what did he do yesterday? Caught a bomb for a touchdown. 5th rounder, who was sitting there when we took, I don't know, one of the defensive players who either got hurt or did performance-enhancing drugs. Kyle Williams was sitting there. I was like, this is it. We're going to grab Kyle Williams. He was one of the guys I wanted. But this isn't just this draft. Every draft. He's just passed on receiver acting like, we're good. We're gonna run it back. We got this. And look where we are. The Bills, I don't think they're going to win the division. I mean, if you go by numbers, yeah, division's still in play. But let's be real. Okay, I like to use my eyes when I watch football. They're not winning the division. The Pats are going to win the division. So now we're like, okay, we'll get the wild card. I don't even think the wild card is a give me. You've got all of the AFC West minus the Raiders. You got the Chiefs. You've got the Broncos. You've got the Chargers, which, by the way, I think they all won yesterday. You've got, our Chiefs were off, but don't forget about the Jags, right? I mean, the AFC is too tight to not win your division. To guarantee a wild card, there is no guarantee. So I think wild card at best. The offense, summed up to me, is it should be called Buffalo Bills offense equals turning nothing into something. Because that's what that was yesterday, and that's what it has been. It's Allen running around like a fucking maniac, just hucking the ball to guys that aren't even open. It's sloppy. The route tree for these receivers, they're just, I don't even know what routes they're running. Broken arrow, the jammed boner route. I don't know what's going on. It doesn't even seem like Brady is scheming guys open unless it's right behind the line of scrimmage. Or we're just tossing it to Cook. And guess what happened? They shut the run game down, and there was nothing. Beane is in trouble, and I say he's on the hot seat, not by Terry Pegula per se. He's on the hot seat with the fans. He's been on the hot seat, but now it is red hot. And he might be on the hot seat with Terry Pegula because Terry Pegula is the kind of owner where, and the Bills are the type of franchise where it's a direct connection to the fans in that city. And when you feel the heat from the fans in the city, that's when Pegula likes to make moves. Although he hasn't done shit with the Sabres. Him and his wife own the Sabres as well. That's a different story. I'm not getting into that. I'm not but it is, something is going on. I mean, we're just cucking, watching the Patriots do exactly what the Bills should have done 5, 6, 7 years ago, and they're doing it in their second year. Yep. And it's the Pats, of all people. It is, and they're doing it with Diggs and Kyle Williams. Diggs, who we had, that was our guy, and then Kyle Williams, who I wanted. So even their offense looks exactly like I wanted the Bills' offense to look. A big, tall, superhero quarterback with wide receivers that know how to get open. It is a mess. They could win the Super Bowl. Can you imagine if Drake Maye and the Pats win a Super Bowl? Maybe not this year, but just imagine if they win a Super Bowl before the Bills and Allen. Wouldn't that be a swift kick right in the crotchola? After 20 years of misery with Brady and the Pats, they take a 5-year break. We blow it, as we always do. And then they come back. Hey, win a Lombardi. Can you imagine? I am sick over it. I don't think this is an overreaction. I think this is a culmination of everything that's happened over the last 5 years. I mean, there's people that think after the 13 seconds game, McDermott should have been fired, or maybe even Beane. I don't know. All I know is that this was not just a loss. This was an eye-opening look for the fan base to say, I don't believe in the window as being closed. When the window's open as long as Allen is their quarterback, but things have changed. And I never thought, oh yeah, the Bills are going to win the division again, or we're just going to keep coasting. A lot of fans did. A lot of media did. I knew. I've lived through it. And then something interesting just happened minutes before I came on the air. And I know, I posted it, but by the time you see this or see it, it's old news, and I'm going to get buried in with everybody else because I know every fan is thinking this. Brian Daboll just got fired by the Giants. Immediate reaction? Bring him back, baby. We do it anyway, right? The Bills do it anyway. Let's bring back Gabe Davis. Remember when they brought back Cole Beasley? Let's bring back, who else did they? Oh, they just brought back Jordan Poyer. Bring them all back. Let's get the band back together. But I'm serious. Because right now, here's the irony of all of this. November 16th, I believe it was. Yeah, in 2023, the Buffalo Bills lost to the Miami Dolphins in Miami, and Ken Dorsey, their offensive coordinator at the time, went viral for slamming his clipboard or his notebook, whatever it was, because they got crushed. And what happened? Ken Dorsey got fired. Fast forward 2 years later, it's November 10th right now, as you're watching this, where I'm recording it. I don't know what date it is when you're watching this, whenever I get it out. And the Bills just lost horribly to the Dolphins in Miami. And everyone's like, we need a change. Can't be a trade. We didn't do any fucking trades at the trade deadline. So we're not going to fire McDermott. We're not going to fire Beane now. It's more of an end of the season thing. Let's fire the coordinator. Yeah, but who are we going to get? Brian Daboll. That's who. This is what I picture for Brian Daboll. Let's take a look at this baby right here. Yeah. Here's Brian Daboll coming back to Buffalo. Hell yeah. That's how I see it. Yeah, bring him back. Bring Brian Daboll back. What do you got to lose? Besides everything. I mean, because that's where they're headed now. I'm done with Joe Brady. In fact, check this out. Just check this out. I did a little research here. Here's the difference between the Buffalo Bills offense with Brian Daboll and with Joe Brady, who's the current OC. Philosophy-wise, Brian Daboll was pass-heavy, explosive, primary focus on Allen's arm, using it to sling the ball downfield and his playmaking ability. Under Brady, more balanced and efficient, aiming to control the game by distributing the ball to multiple players, everybody eats, ass, and relying more heavily on the run game. Accurate. That's exactly what they're doing. They've neutered Josh Allen. I love that they've built a great run game, but there's nothing to... A great passing game is complemented by a great running game. In fact, it's probably a product of a good running game. A good running game is even better when you can pass the ball, i.e. play action and other things. Play calling. Daboll was known for being creative, utilizing trick plays, misdirection. What does Joe Brady do? Swing pass to Shakir, tunnel screen at least 5 times a game. 3, 4 strong tosses on the weak side to Cook. Implements a simpler, more efficient game plan, and everybody eats philosophy, resulting in a wider distribution to people that aren't open. Commitment to the run, Brian Daboll. He used the run game, but was not as consistently committed to it. And I will fault him there. That was when Daboll's time was just about up. That was the thing. It was like, why are we not running the ball at all? Like, we love that you're using Allen's arm, but they also didn't have Cook. Under Brady, commitment to the run, it's increased the design run percentage significantly with James Cook and, well, it used to be Ty Johnson last year, not so much this year. But then lastly, the QB usage. Brian Daboll allowed Allen to operate with more of a sling it mentality, and Joe Brady focused on a more precise, lower risk approach. And by lower risk, it means exactly what I said before. They've neutered him. We know you don't have guys that can get open. So instead of scheming guys open or trying and failing, I'm just going to throw it behind the line to Shakir a couple times. There's just no creativity. It is frantic. There's no rhythm. When they do drive, I mean, what was that drive yesterday? Like a 15-minute offensive drive that ended in an interception. And by the way, Josh Allen is not off the hook. Poor decision-making. The fumble, that was a tush-push that he turned into a, everybody jump on my back, we're going to act like we're playing, I'm composed. The Buffalo Bills are in trouble. They're not going to win the division. They might get the wild card. But when push comes to shove, take away all the fodder, all the stats, all the numbers, do you really see Keon Coleman, Khalil Shakir, Josh Palmer, who's not even on the field, raising the Lombardi? No. And look, yesterday, the Bills' defense was depleted. Okay? The offense, already depleted, but Josh Palmer out, Kincaid left. I don't use injuries as an excuse. I think that's a loser mentality. If you have a good team, you have depth, you have great players that come in and it's next man up, and you coach them up to win. I don't believe in using that as an excuse. And by the way, every team has major injuries, some more than others. Look at the Niners. Actually, look at the Niners. Winning, up until yesterday, winning with more injuries. So I understand that was a big part of it, but it's inexcusable, especially in year 8 of this project. Congrats to the Miami Dolphins. Wanted it more. They beat them. Which, by the way, I said this last time, but my episode last week never aired because we had technical issues. So I'll bring this one back. I mean, obviously, Mike McDaniel is keeping his job today because he just trounced the Buffalo Bills. But this game, after all the bullshit that's been going on, I had this thought. I was like, how is Mike McDaniel still have a job? They fired the GM. I thought for sure they would fire the coach as well. Nope, he's hanging on. And the only thing, something occurred to me. I said, what if Tua is the reason that McDaniel still has a job? What do I mean by that? I think the more Tua speaks, I think the more McDaniels holds on to this job. And that's because Tua has aired so much dirty laundry over the last month or so, maybe more, about players not showing up, about, the ownership maybe lacking a little bit or coaching. And the more he speaks, the more the fan base and the organization is going, maybe our $50-something million guy ain't our guy. Because it's pretty clear he wasn't to begin with. And the more he speaks, the more he's talking himself out of a job and out of the organization. And I think what the Dolphins are thinking is, well, Mike McDaniels didn't draft Tua. He was given Tua. Let's get rid of the GM and let's give this guy another season or two with his own guy. That's the only thing I can think of. And then this trouncing of the Bills certainly helped his case. So something to think about. A couple more things. If you have not seen or heard, another gambling scandal in sports. In the MLB, Emmanuel Clase and, I think I said that right, Clase. Emmanuel Clase and Luis Ortiz have been indicted on charges of illegal gambling. Apparently, it started in May of 23, where they were taking bribes to rig bets on pitches thrown. Now, they are facing possibly up to 20 years in prison criminally, and then as far as the MLB goes, they're suspended indefinitely, but there are rumors of a lifetime ban, which makes complete sense. And so I thought again, just a few weeks ago, we were talking about the NBA betting scandal. And I said, fining or suspending these guys is not enough. It's not enough for the guys that were illegally gambling, and it's not sending a big enough message to some of these players, because for a lot of these bazillionaires, it feels like a slap on the wrist. So I offered some ideas to kind of scare them into never doing it again. So why not round 2? Here are my ideas of punishments for pro sports players who illegally gamble. We've got to do something that's going to really embarrass them. That'll make players go, yeah, I don't want to get fined, and I don't want to go to jail, I don't want to get banned, but I don't want to do that. Like, imagine if the bench is cleared so they can tickle the pitcher. Can you imagine? Come here, you. You little gambler, you. What'd you do? That would be embarrassing. Or what if you have to do a press conference, but you have to answer every question with a sock puppet? But here's the thing. I don't just mean, hello, how are, hey, I don't just mean, yeah, well, it was a good game. We played all right. I mean, full voice, character voice. I'm talking, we don't want to see you. That's not a puppet show. I want to see this. Oh, yeah. Well, I made some mistakes along the way. But I'll never do it again. It was a good game, by the way. And, we gotta make sure that we help our guys out. You know what I mean? That's the way to go. Just a few ideas. And then lastly, I want to talk about something I'm excited about. Again, this happened right before I came on. So, my favorite football show on television is Good Morning Football. It's on the NFL Network. I absolutely love it. Kyle Brandt, probably my favorite sports personality right now. Maybe of all time. I don't know. Love him. Great guy. Awesome. Has a segment called Angry Runs, where every week on Tuesday, he shows 4 or 5 clips of the angriest runs of the football week. And by angry, it means guys that just trucked into other dudes, threw them down. It's awesome. It's become a phenomenon. And what happens is one of those guys wins, and they get a scepter that Kyle Brandt sends to them. And they get their picture taken, and it's a great segment. And then he's done a deal with Homage shirts or clothing, where then that week they roll out whoever won Angry Runs that week for the Angry Runs shirt. Now, the Bills James Cook won about 2 weeks ago. And before that, a season before and 2 seasons ago, James Cook won a second and a third time. And one of those times was a co-winning between him and Deion Dawkins. So I've bought every shirt when they've won. The new thing is, when Angry Runs occurs, what they like to do is they say, send in a picture of you or somebody you know wearing an Angry Run shirt so it can be featured on the show for the segment. So at the top of the segment, he loves to say, oh, welcome to Angry Runs. And let's take a look at our street team. And he cuts to all the people that send in photos of them wearing their shirts. I got an email. My picture made it. It's going to be on, well, I don't know when this is going to air, but right now it's Monday. It's going to air tomorrow on Good Morning Football, the Tuesday edition for Angry Runs. It is me, my son, and my daughter with our all 3 Angry Run shirts on. Look at me. right there. And you know, a picture says 1,000 words. Right there, what that's saying is, and I hope Kyle picks up on this is me holding up my scepter, proud, an angry, proud father watching as his kids carry on the anger. It's awesome. I love it. Look at that. Arrgh. So yeah, I'll be sure to next week show the actual segment when it airs, but I'm super pumped, really excited. And with that, a quick but important episode of GNY Sports. I am Mike Brindisi, your host, here once a week. GNY Sports is a side quest of our show, Good News York, our video podcast that airs wherever podcasts air, and it airs Monday through Thursday at Good News York on all socials, goodnewsyork.com, GNY Sports as well. You can find that at Good News York and anywhere Good News York is. And you can follow me on all socials at Mike B TV. We will see you next week. And look, I'm doing my own switching. Wait. Oh, where's the arrow? There we go. Ready? Here we go. I'm doing this myself. Hey, we will see you next week on GNY Sports.